Okay, hi. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Carolina. My name is Nikki Aiello, and I am a recovery and life transition coach. I live in Denver, Colorado, and my new favorite thing is having incredible people join me for an hour a week and share with me their expertise in different areas of health and wellness. So this week I have a dear friend, Carolina Marrelli. She is an integrative holistic health coach. She's based out of South Carolina. That's kind of new. She used to live in Florida. And I'm going to read you a little bit about her, and then I'm going to have her talk about herself as well. And then we'll kind of go into it. So today's theme is going to be how to manage natural ways to manage depression and anxiety, which I feel is very timely. We all need as many tools and strategies as we can get. And Carolina's got some great ones in there. We're going to talk about essential oils and nutrition and lifestyle. So that's what's coming up. But first of all, this beautiful woman here is Carolina Marrelli. She's a certified holistic health coach, plant-based medicine and essential oil instructor, and president of EquiBalance Health. Her signature program has helped countless women to completely turn the tide on not only the state of their health, but their overall quality of life. Um, and I'm going to have you, well, I'll give you just a little background. In 2015, just days after her second child was born, Carolina came face to face with a deathly health crisis that took 2.5 years to fully recover from. As a result, she became passionate about her health and fascinated with learning how to heal the body naturally. With over 13 years in full-time church music ministry under her belt and plans to go on tour as a rock star, I added that part. She walked She walked away from it all to go back to school for holistic healthcare and hasn't looked back. And now she is here with me today
With
and
you.
here for all of you. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super, super happy to do this with you again. Always a pleasure.
So, this is our second time. Carolina was with me last week as well, and we talked about immunity. So, that recording is on my IG TV channel, and that one is full of all sorts of great stuff about how to boost your immunity right now. So, Carolina, um tell us some more, tell us about like what's going on in your world right now with your practice and what you're most passionate about. I know you just moved and you're getting resettled in your own home.
Yeah. So for those of you that were not with us last week and you're first timer here today, I am a mom. I'm a wife. I've got two little boys, 8 and 5. They are a handful. And I am really passionate about helping other women to transform the way that they provide healthcare to their families in their home. And I think with everything that we're going through now in the world with the health pandemic, your home healthcare and the way that you and the tools that you have and the knowledge that you have is priceless. And we have been given so many incredible things in nature to be able to care for our bodies and help to boost our immune system and help to manage anxiety and depression and headaches and digestive issues and all the things. And that is really what I'm passionate about in my practice, is just really giving women the tools that they need to be able to take control of their health first, because it starts from the head, right? If mommy ain't happy, nobody's happy. I work with a lot of women that are, quote unquote, sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. They feel gross in their body and maybe they need to lose a little bit of weight. But what I really do is weight loss is a byproduct of lifestyle change. And so we work on making small tweaks in a woman's life and making changes to her nutrition and, all the things that are going to contribute to a healthier body, and therefore everything else in your life gets that blessing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, do you work with, I know you work with children as well and primarily women. Do you work with men too?
So for my health coaching, I only work with women, but with essential oils, I can work with anyone.
Okay.
With so I do a lot with kids with the essential oils, but as far as like health coaching is concerned, my clients are only female.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to talk about mostly today in regard to managing stress and anxiety and depression?
Yeah,
What are your
yeah.
thoughts on this?
So, I think what's interesting, like a really interesting fact to kick us off is that it's estimated that 1 in 10 US adults struggle with depression and another 40 million have anxiety. Like, that's a lot of people. And it's very, very common. And I'm sure, like, you probably have seen this in your work, that it's very, very common for people who struggle with depression to also have anxiety. And close to half of the people that are diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with anxiety. And there's a really big difference. So I just want to clarify what the two are, because a lot of times I feel like they get thrown in the same bucket and they're not the same thing.
Mhm.
I think that they have a lot of the same uh, pain points, if you will, or symptoms. So anxiety is just, it's fear of the future, or like fear of future pain. And depression is where you're living more in a state of low mood and you typically have an aversion to activity, right? A lot of times with depression, you're going to feel worthless and you're unable to function properly, right? People don't get out of bed. With anxiety, people do get out of bed, right? The other thing with anxiety is that you may have heard this acronym before: false evidence appearing real. And the thing with anxiety is that you're battling fear, right? And it's so important. And even with depression, it is so important that you're thinking about what you're thinking about. And like, I'm preaching to myself here too. Okay. When I got sick after my second child was born, I had gone septic with something called group B strep. And I was hospitalized for a week and I was put on all these broad spectrum IV antibiotics because my cultures hadn't grown in, so nobody knew what I was dealing with. And unfortunately, my gut flora got completely jacked up because of all those IV antibiotics. And then I got something called C. difficile, which is an antibiotic induced colitis, and it kills hundreds of thousands of people every year. And I had those two things back to back. And one of the side effects of having C. difficile is severe anxiety. So I want those of you that are hanging out with us today to know, like, I know what it feels like. I've also battled depression before for a short season. So I'm not talking as someone who's just like looking at it from a clinical perspective. I can speak to you with empathy and compassion because I've dealt with it. I feel like in my life, just being honest, I've had a little bit of low-lying anxiety my whole life. I didn't realize until, good counseling and, doing a lot of inner work, that a lot of the fear that I experienced in my life from my childhood, it started with my parents' divorce. I look back and it's like, whoa, now I see that that was actually like a low, it's, it wasn't like full on anxiety as a child, but it was like this undercurrent.
Mhm.
It's like this buzz that you have in your ear, like very faint, but the buzz is always there, right? And then when I got the C. diff, it wiped out all the serotonin in my gut, and the serotonin was makes you feel happy.
Mhm.
And so I battled it full on, and I thought I was going to die at times. It was awful. So like, I just speak from a place of so much compassion and empathy because I know what it feels like. And when I had a bout of depression, I barely ate. I just wanted to sleep all the time. I lost interest in everything. And that was after, like, Nikki and I would talk about having a life quake. It was after a life quake. So I get it. I totally, totally get it. And, it's very easy for people to just get confused about the differences between the two things. And a lot of times when a person receives medicine for anxiety, they're probably getting an antidepressant medication.
Mhm.
And there are a group of SSRIs that are helpful for both anxiety and depression. So that's a now preferred treatment for people with anxiety, but there are things that you can do naturally to help with, with anxiety. Okay, so with anxiety, you're going to have things like muscle tension and dizziness, dry mouth, your stomach's going to get really upset. Some people vomit. you sweat a lot, like your pits, your hands, your heart rate is just going at it. You may actually feel some numbness or tingling in your hands and feet. And you might also be very, very restless. And then, you know, the last thing you probably want to do when you are feeling anxious is eat. Like I don't want to eat at all when I'm anxious. I feel it in my gut. Like I do not want to eat when I'm anxious, right? But then you have people that they don't feel that effect. So if you are that kind of person and you feel like you can eat some food, some things that you can use from the food world as medicine to just help take the edge off. Okay. Bananas are the first thing. They're really, really high in potassium, but they also have tryptophan. Now, if you ever eat Thanksgiving dinner and you go into a turkey coma after you eat, that's because turkey has tryptophan in it. And what it does is when you have bananas, it feeds your brain and it cools down all the electrical activity that's like all stimulated when you're having an anxiety attack. So bananas are one thing. Maridol papayas. They're very, very, very soothing for your intestinal tract. And maridols they're non-GMO and they're from South America. So when you go to the store, you may have to look at places more like Whole Foods. Maybe Trader Joe's has it. Look to see where the papayas are from. You want to get Maridol papayas. But papayas in general, like I'm Cuban, and whenever I got a stomach ache as a child, my dad would be like, "Oh, let's have either malanga or papaya, like a papaya shake," and it would soothe your stomach. And now I know why. It's just really soothing for the intestinal tract. The next thing you can eat is avocado, right? Make yourself some guacamole if you're not a fan of just eating like an avocado with some olive oil and salt or pepper. And the reason avocado is because it's very, very high in fatty acids. And the fatty acids are what help to relax your brain. So with everything going, it's going to help your brain to chill out. The next thing that you can enjoy is pumpkin seeds. And Halloween's right around the corner. So
Perfect.
carve yourself a pumpkin. Throw it on a baking sheet with some olive oil and some sea salt, roast them, and enjoy a natural way to get some zinc into your system. And zinc is critical to calming your nervous system down. Happy Halloween. And then the next thing you can eat is leafy greens. I mean, leafy greens, you cannot go wrong with them because they're just so healthy anyway, but they're very, very high in what's called bioactive magnesium, which gets deeper into the nervous system. So those are some foods. So I'll go through the list again. Bananas, maridol, papayas, avocado, happy Halloween, pumpkin seeds, and leafy greens. So that's something that you can enjoy. Now,
And magnesium for sure is one that's often linked with that. So that makes a lot of sense.
yes, and I mean, they also sell magnesium spray that you can just use transdermally on your skin. You can soak in a magnesium bath. You can drink magnesium. They sell if you go to Vitamin Shop or you'll see it at Whole Foods. I don't know if you guys have Publix out there in Colorado, but they have a nice natural food selection there and they have all the supplements and whatnot. And you can get a magnesium drink and that will help to really, really calm your system down. So those are some things that you can do. As far as I wanted to talk about improving your mental health in general, just because this is all going to tie in with helping to deal with anxiety and depression. And I know like if you saw the interview we did last week, my energy was super, super high. And I feel like today we're talking about something that is just so, I'm an empath, so I can like pick up on energy and I just feel this like calmness over me. So if you're like Nikki, like you're a lot different energy than you were last week. I
No,
think
I feel the
this is
same. I feel the
this
same.
is such a serious topic. And so, I mean, the suicide rate right now is so high. And I'm just, again, like speaking from such a place of compassion and empathy and love, really. So the things that I'm going to suggest to you are things that I do myself. They're things that I encourage my private clients to do just because I know it works. It's also clinically proven to work. but you have to feel things out for yourself and like see what works for you, because what works for me, some of the things may work great. And for some of you watching this, they may not be something that makes you feel better. So you just need to be mindful what works for you and run with that. Okay. So some simple ways that you can improve your mental health. The first one is get your body moving. If you have depression, or even if you feel just like a little bit mopey here and there, exercise is a must. And I'm not talking about, something complicated. You don't need a gym membership. Like, you just simply need to open your front door and go outside. Okay. Hop on a bike, take a walk. If you've got kids, throw a football around, talk to a friend, like get a girlfriend with you and go for a nice long walk and talk. Okay. If you do have access to a gym, at the time of this recording, we are in October of 2020, where, depending on what state you're living in, you're at different phases of reopening. There are a lot of gyms closed. There are a lot of gyms reopening. So if you do have access to a heated pool, go for a swim. It's so easy on your joints. It's relaxing. It just takes the weight off of your body. And again, if you can get with a friend to exercise, even better, because when you're with a friend, a safe, trusted friend that you can share the deep stuff with, just talking and processing your feelings out loud is really, really going to help. I mean, talk therapy is absolutely fantastic. And sometimes all you need to do is just vent to somebody to feel better, right?
Well,
Um, the second thing, oh, you know what else too? I don't want to forget this. This is very important. It's probably the most important part about exercise is that when you're exercising, it's releasing that level of endorphins in your body. It's like the feel good hormones. And I will tell you that sometimes when you're really tired and feeling mopey, the last thing you want to do is go out and get some movement. It is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself. And there is research that shows an overwhelmingly positive results in this area, with studies confirming that physical exercise is at least as good as taking an antidepressant for helping people that are depressed. That's really, really, really good news, because you do not have to pay money for that. It's free. Just go outside. Listen, the other thing too is if you've got stairs in your house, run your stairs.
oh, man.
I've got 3 flights of stairs. Like, I walk my stairs 100 times a day, like not on purpose, but just because like there's things on different floors. And and then sometimes if I just want to get like a boost of energy, or I'm feeling a little down, you know, I just go run some stairs and I start to feel better. It's really, really good. So
Well,
again,
and I
exercise.
think that, Caroline, I know you said that you had, a short, I'm just trying to adjust that light back behind my head in some way that is manageable. I know you said you had a short experience with depression, so you do know what that is, and for sure
Yeah.
you had your experience with anxiety. But
Yeah.
my history is, a solid 15 years of hardcore major depression
Mm,
and mixed with anxiety. So I can speak to that experience and exercise. I mean, I got into hiking because I lived in Phoenix at the time. That's when I got into hiking because my body just didn't want to run anymore. But I
mm,
knew that I needed cardio because, like, all, cardio is essential, and it doesn't have to be crazy cardio, and it doesn't have to be 40 minutes of cardio, but something to actually get your heart rate up for about 15-20 minutes
yeah.
is medicine.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so I started hiking and rollerblading when I was first, on entering into my recovery journey. And then ever since then, I have not stopped either one. And my body's healed in to such a way that, places are closed now, but I was able to start doing some of those, core power type classes, things that were more,
Yeah.
I couldn't have done those at the beginning. My body was too broken, but, literally, like, I look at rollerblading and at walking and at hiking as medicine, like those
Yeah.
non-negotiable. And that in combination with sunshine is just it's power packed
Yeah.
for all
Yeah.
those neurotransmitters in your brain. So it's a big deal. Like, you have to find something that you like to do, that you will do, and do it.
Absolutely. Yes, something that you love, because if you don't like it, you're not going to want to do it for
Yeah.
sure. I used to love to roller skate. Or rollerblade. I'm getting It's called an ultra slide. It's what speed skaters used to train on for their legs. I used to do that
Cool.
in physical therapy for my knee, and I loved it. And we're setting up a home gym here in the house on the third floor, and it's something that I have wanted in my home for so long. And I
That
got
sounds
some, I
flat.
got some, I got some, I got some money for my birthday. So I have exactly enough money to be able to get the ultra slide. So I'm so excited about it. But it's just like you've got to have fun. Put some music on.
Yeah.
Again, I will go walking and I'll call a friend. And because I'm in a new city, so I'm just starting to meet people. But I will connect with a friend, and sometimes I just like to listen to music. Sometimes I just like the quiet and hearing the birds chirping. But you want to make it fun for yourself. So,
And speaking
right,
to music real quick too, I mean, really, I mean, studies show that, music and even just listening to a positive and inspirational audiobook or a podcast, one of your podcasts or somebody, like you have to use your senses, like utilize your
yeah,
senses for rather than, you know, relying on a pill, even though you may need
yeah,
to take a pill as well. Our
yeah,
senses are all avenues and tools to change our inner chemistry. So
yeah.
the light coming through our eyes, the sound and what we're taking in through our ears,
Mm,
obviously the taste we put in our mouth, aromatherapy, obviously we're going to get to that.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for
So
sure.
I mean, I just speak, I know this shit works. I've practiced, I've lived it and I've practiced it.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to hear more about what you
Y'all, you heard it from the boss. So, this stuff works. 15 years of depression is no joke. And if that works,
yeah.
it's amazing. So, okay. So the second thing would be cleaning up your diet. And this is just an area that you cannot ignore when it comes to mental health. Okay. Because food has such a huge impact on your mood. And one thing I encourage people to do is keep a food diary for a few weeks because you'll start to see patterns in how you feel physically and then also how you feel emotionally after eating certain foods. So, some people, for example, will feel really, really anxious after having a cup of coffee or eating sugar, right? And other people will feel completely depressed after eating too much pasta, and not because of weight gain, but just because pasta turns to sugar in your system, and you get like a blood sugar high and then you tank really quickly, and it will trigger depression. So if you can just track what you're eating for a couple of weeks, it'll really, really help you to see patterns. So what do you eat? Okay. You want to think clean. So lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, lean protein if you're an animal protein eater, fresh clean water. I cannot speak enough for most people are dehydrated. Like, I keep my Yeti with me all the time. I'm like a camel. My husband makes fun of me because we'll walk into a restaurant and I have my water bottle and he's like, "Babe, why do you have water? We're gonna sit down." I'm like, "Cause I'm parched when I don't have it." And it gets me anxious. So lots of water. Your brain functions so much better when it's hydrated. Okay. You're gonna have a lot clearer, sharper thinking when you've got that. It's gonna help keep you chill too. Um, some people,
Can I ask you something about water? I'm a big fan of putting, really high quality sea salt in my water. Do you do that?
I do not. Oh, tell me about this.
Oh man. So from my Ayurvedic training, which is, the Indian science of lifestyle and nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
they teach that salt brings water to the tissues.
Oh my gosh.
So it actually it actually kind of helps like open up your cells so the water can go in. Kind of like, like an electrolyte. It is an
how
electrolyte.
much how much do you put how much salt do you put in the water?
It depends. I mean, when you get the really nice, like, Celtic or Hawaiian or any of those that are like colored, they're
Mm-hmm,
not as
mm-hmm.
strong so for sure you want to use those. You don't want to use table salt because
Right.
that's stripped down of all the minerals. You know this. I'm just kind of telling our viewers in case they don't. But I put probably if I were to drink this, I would put a quarter teaspoon of salt
Mhm.
in there.
Sorry, my son just walked in. Here you go,
That's
baby.
okay. Hi, son. What's your son's name?
Noah.
Oh yeah, Noah and Justice, right?
Noah and Justice. Yeah. Okay.
So I would probably put like a quarter teaspoon in this.
Okay. That's not a lot. Hold on. I'm gonna shut my door really quick because he
Oh,
just
sure.
walked.
Go right ahead. I'm gonna adjust my lighting. Take this opportunity.
Mom life.
Mom life.
Mom, I'm hungry. Can you open it?
I apologize for my, my scene in here today. We were
Girl,
gonna
I
be
don't
doing
care.
things in the other room, so I had everything set up and we had to change our plans. So now I'm like, not ideal situation. But
Construction zone in my house.
so yeah, salt in water with a little lemon. It's really hydrating. You don't even need the lemon. That just makes it taste a little better.
Maybe no. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm opening a snack. Here, buddy.
Snack, you giving him some oil.
Snack time. Okay, babe, we need to go back down in Daddy's office, okay? There you go. Will you shut my door too, baby? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Here's my little one. Can you see him?
Let me see. Oh.
He's blended in with a blanket, but that's Pickles. Okay, so yeah, salt in your water. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my body goes when I put salt in my water rather than it just kind of like flowing over. It's like it draws it in.
That's amazing. I'm gonna try that. That's real. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, sure. Try it.
Yeah, cool, cool. So, along with cleaning up your diet, one of the biggest things also too that I encourage people to do is reducing your sugar intake. I'm so sorry because sugar tastes so good. And I'm saying reduce. Notice I'm not saying like eliminate completely. I'm not trying to turn you into like a crazy person, right? The thing with sugar is that it train wrecks your gut and it will cause all kinds of inflammation in your body. So if you are a person that is eating 5 candy bars a day, let's work you down to 3. And you just have to do it very, very slowly. This is not about going cold turkey. Just look at it as like one meal or one snack at a time. Okay. And for some people, a lot of people are addicted to Coke and Pepsi and Sprite and all the different sodas that are available everywhere. And they don't drink a lot of water. They just drink a lot of soda. So for some people, maybe you don't like candy or cakes or donuts and all the things like that, but your addiction is soda or pop, depending on where you're from. So this is something that can be very painful to come off of if you try to do it too quickly. You need to do it slowly over the course of several weeks, okay? For other people, it means bringing some snacks to the office if you're working in an office. Some people are, some people aren't, okay? As opposed to going to the vending machine and getting your daily M&M pack. Okay? If you have to have chocolate, like I love my dark chocolate. It's like 85%, right? I worked my way up to that. Just have dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate. That little change right there, that little baby step is going to play a huge part in helping to clean up your gut health, which leads me into the next thing. Point number 3 is you want to focus on optimizing your gut health. And the reason why is because all of your serotonin is located in your gut. So when you you have to remember that whatever you're eating, the bacteria in your gut is also eating. And that bacteria are the soldiers in your gut fighting off all the bad guys. So you want to feed the soldiers nutrient dense, good, clean food so they have the strength to be able to fight the junk off. Okay. So one of the ways that you can optimize your gut health is by taking a really high quality probiotic and prebiotic. And really quick, in case you missed last week, the difference between a pro and prebiotic is if you look at your gut like a garden, your probiotic is the seed that you plant in the garden. And your prebiotic is the sunshine and the water and the fertilizer. It's all the things that make that seed blossom into this huge, bountiful harvest. Okay. So essentially, what you're doing is you're taking one bacteria and you're giving it another bacteria that's going to make that first bacteria just like explode in your gut, and in a good explosion. This is what we want. Okay. If you're taking an antibiotic, it's going to completely screw up your gut flora. All right. There is something called antibiotic induced psychosis. So you may find, or you may find for yourself, or you may notice this in somebody else, that when you're on an antibiotic or somebody else is on an antibiotic, they turn a little crazy. And the reason why is because the gut flora has been completely messed with. So you want to be taking antibiotics with probiotics. You have to space them out. You don't take them at the same time because remember, an antibiotic is killing bacteria in your gut, and we're focusing on replenishing that bacteria, feeding that bacteria with the pro and prebiotic. The other way that you can optimize your gut health is by enjoying fermented foods like sauerkraut and pickles and kefir, miso, kombucha. Kombucha is great. And those things are really, really, really good for optimal gut health and then optimal mental health as well. Okay. You got to remember your gut is your second brain, and your gut influences your mood, your mind, and your behavior. So, if that is the only thing that you take away from what I'm saying to you today, take care of your gut because it is going to take care of you then. Okay. The fourth thing is that you want to increase the consumption of essential fatty acids. Fatty acids. What day? It's Wednesday. It's not even Friday. Can't even blame it on Friday. You want to increase the consumption of essential fats. Think omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Because this is gonna support your brain nutrient-wise in the battle against depression. Big time. So think
Once again,
avocado, guacamole.
I eat 1 or 2 avocados a day.
I love them. They're so good. They're so good. And you can put them, if you freeze them and you put them in a smoothie, it helps make it a little creamier.
Mhm.
Good
Totally.
stuff. The fifth thing is getting sunshine. And you brought this up too, exercise and sunshine. Vitamin D deficiency is more the norm than it is the exception. So I encourage all my clients, when you go to get your yearly physical, ask your doctor to check your vitamin D level. Most people have to supplement. I moved from sunny Miami, Florida, where I was outside all the time, to North Carolina, where it's sunny here, but we also have a lot of days like today is like cloudy and rainy and just kind of gross. So I'm not getting the amount of sun that I was getting before. And so I supplement with a very, very high potent vitamin D supplement. And I just recommend that to people in general because it also helps to boost your immune system. But when you are vitamin D deficient, you're going to see more people with psychiatric and neurological issues starting to pop up. Okay. So if you can think of your body's like a battery, and when you're getting sunshine, you're getting that natural vitamin D, you're recharging your internal battery. Okay. And this is going to help you feel so much better. I mean, think about it. People that live in cold climates where it's like cold 9 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, they have the sun lamps to help battle the depression. I went to art school for college back in the 90s. Actually have a design degree. And I knew a lot of students that they came from California and Florida and they could not handle the Baltimore winters. And they would have the lamps in their rooms because they absolutely had to have that for keeping depression at bay. So if you don't, if you can't get outside in the sun, if you need a sun lamp, there is no shame in that. Okay. Some people,
I
I
have
think,
one in the past. I lived in Colorado. I mean, the sun shines here a lot, but I did have one of those for a little while because I was
yeah,
just like still
there's
needing.
no shame. And I think sometimes people feel this like shame factor with like, but I need all these things. And like, you're giving yourself like, think if you're okay, if you're a parent, right? Or you're talking to a 4-year-old, you're not going to sit and like shame that 4-year-old for needing some sunlight, enjoying their life. No, you speak from a place of compassion and tenderness. So I just want to encourage whoever's listening to this and is feeling like that shame factor of like needing these extra things, like it's okay. Like take care of yourself. Like you're worthy of caring for yourself and nurturing yourself and giving yourself what you need to feel better. And actually, there was a study that was done that found that people that had the lowest levels of vitamin D were 11 times more prone to being depressed than people that had normal levels. That's
Well,
a
let me ask
really,
you something about vitamin D then, if you know
yeah.
this. So, if I know that the norm is probably to be deficient. Um, do we need to go get a test? Or I mean, is it can you have too much vitamin D in your system? Like if
You
if
can, you can. So I work with a functional medicine doctor, and he's the one that put me on this really high potent dosage.
Mhm.
But he was saying if you go, and also too, there was a Chinese medicine doctor I did work with in Florida as well. He said the same thing. If you take, I think it was more than 10,000 mLs, it is not good for you. They also sell a high potency vitamin D that you take once a week, that it's like a slow release.
Mm,
And if you doubled up on that, like it's not good for your body. But I'm not a doctor, I'm a health coach. So I have to be very careful what I say.
yeah,
Um, I know that like it's just not like you can't, yes, you can have too much, but you absolutely get when you get your yearly test done with your doctor, or even just call if you're curious to know,
yeah,
call your doctor and have them write a script for you to go to, Quest or LabCorp and just do a vitamin D test and see what your levels are looking like. You can't go wrong with that at
right.
all.
Because I know in the past I've been low, and then most recently I was not, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling now that that there's less sun and I'm out there less, I'm probably low again. So I'm gonna go get a test because I feel like I want to be back on it if I need it, and I just need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Good for you. Good for you. Um, the sixth thing that you can do to help with depression and anxiety and just your mental health in general is keeping your stress in check. I know we touched on this last week. More often than not, depression is a sign that your body and your life are out of balance somewhere. And there's no such thing as perfect balance, but something's out of whack. And this is the time for you to step back and start practicing some much needed self care. It really is. Again, treat yourself like you would a 4-year-old child with care and compassion. And yes, there are people that have a true chemical imbalance in the brain, and that is something to be taken absolutely seriously. However, not all depression is because of mental illness. Mine that I had was, again, it was a life quake that happened. And, once that situation worked itself out, I got better. But there are a lot of people that that's not the case. And again, there is no shame in that. And I'm so happy that people are talking more and more about mental wellness these days, because I've known so many people that have had clinical depression. They've truly had something off in their brain chemistry, and they felt shame about, going and getting medication for it. And just like you would take thyroid medication, it's all chemicals. There's no shame in taking something to help balance out your brain chemistry. However, if you can help to support your body as well naturally, or if you can do some natural things to help, all the better, right? Um, you know, Everybody's self care is going to look different as well.
Mhm.
I like journaling. I like playing guitar. I love drumming. Drumming's awesome.
Sounds like
I
it.
love reading. I love all the things. Nikki, you said you love going hiking and going rollerblading. Like, what are some things that you like to do for stress?
Stress. I walk for sure. I just go outside and get air and sunshine, and I do that. I cook. I make things that I just kind of like turn on some great music, or often in the kitchen I'll bring my little iPad that's like basically my TV on. I'll just like watch something great and entertaining and wonderful while I cook.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts and books that are inspiring to me. So that's super helpful. Um, I would love to say I painted right now, but there's a painting downstairs that's been needing to get finished for the past 8 months. So I'm a closet, I'm a non-practicing painter at the moment. Um,
Oh, God, practicing.
there's a yogic style chanting practice that I love. So I mean, just like you, the power of singing, the power of voice and moving your energy in that way.
Yeah.
That's something that makes me feel really good. So I love the sense of, I love using aromatherapy. I love to smell good things and be in, calming environments like my house. I just make sure my house feels really good. Like
Yeah.
I'm very aware of all my surroundings all the time. And light is a huge one. Um, music, and just good clean air and water, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's
There's a
awesome.
lot of things I would love to do more of a lot of things, but those things are all pretty much free and they're available, you know. And
Yeah,
like right now I'm living really simply, so that's what I do.
yeah. I think that's another thing too. Like, I feel like life is so, we're all overstimulated all the time.
Yeah.
And, some anxiety and depression can be triggered from social media and all the stuff we're taking in all the time. And I know as a mom, there's some women that I love to follow on social media, and I started finding that I got in the whole comparison trap, and it started giving me like a little, like, I got kind of blue and like questioning my how good I am as a mom. And even in business, it's so easy to get into that mode of like, oh, that person's doing all the things, like what's wrong with me? And it makes you get anxious, and so
Comparison is the root of all suffering. That's always stuck with me. And it is.
it's so true. And so if social media and the news is causing you anxiety and depression, shut it off.
Yeah,
Seriously, just turn the damn thing off, cuz
yeah,
you don't take in stuff that's going to, which leads me to my next, I've two more points to make, but you got to think about what you're thinking about.
I was gonna go back to that. I love that statement that you said at the beginning.
Joyce Meyer, man. I got that from Joyce Meyer. And
Mhm.
you have to watch. So point number 7, you have to watch your thought life and your self-talk, okay? Like, pay attention to what you're feeding your mind and what you're listening to. Even some music, like there's some music that I used to love, and now like I find it a little jarring. And
Mhm.
I don't know, and it's not that it's like they're saying anything bad, but I'm just finding like vibrationally, it's just not matching up for me, especially with all the stuff going on in the atmosphere. And for those of you empaths that are watching or listening to this recording, you really have to be careful because you take things in such a deeper way. So,
Yeah.
you got to really think about what you're thinking about, and notice how you are being physiologically affected by what you're thinking about. And notice, like, the people that you hang out with, are they pulling you up or are they bringing you down? Because remember that saying, like, you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So if they're all Debbie Downers or negative Nancy's, like, more than likely you're going to start noticing that you're becoming more on that Debbie Downer negative Nancy side, right?
Yeah.
Get yourself talking to people that are positive and uplifting. Listen to positive content, positive podcasts, If you like, documentaries on nature, watch that. That'll cheer you up. Like, it's just clean and it's pure, and you're getting, like, you're seeing nature. You're not like these National Geographic, like, I sound like the biggest geek right now, but National Geographic documentaries, it's so awesome because you see the outdoors, and I feel like they're on a slower pace than some of the other things that are out there, and I think it's a natural chill pill. So
Yeah.
that's something that you can do, but remember that your mind is like a battlefield, and you can make yourself mad or sad or glad by what you think and how you speak. So you can increase or decrease your joy and your peace. It's up to you. And you have to think of your mind like I tell people, I personally feed my body. I treat my body like a Ferrari, right? My body gets the
I
champagne,
see.
as
I'm
does my
quoting
car,
you and putting that on your picture in one of my upcoming posts. I love that. Love that.
right? Treat your body like a Ferrari. Well, listen, think of your mind like the gas tank of a Beamer, right? Your Beamer, your BMW is going to run well or not run well, depending on what kind of gas you put into it. And the same goes for your quality of life. It's going to either improve or it's not, depending on what you do, what you think about, what you say, what you listen to. And darkness cannot fill a room as long as there is a light on. So turn the light on in your mind and fill it up with positive, hope filled, thankful, and grateful thoughts. Like, we are coming into November, right? Thanksgiving is a time of gratitude. And I will encourage everyone listening, if you can just write down every day 3 things that you are grateful for, you are going to see a shift in your mood. Yes, you may still have some depression. You may still have some anxiety. But man, when you can start thinking about all the blessings that you have, if you woke up this morning and you've got 2 arms and you could drink water and have a meal, you are blessed. Like, preaching good on a Wednesday. I'm telling you, you are gonna see a shift in your energy. And remember that everything in your life is connected to your mind. And that's where battles are won or lost, And don't be afraid to be who you are, even if that means like showing your scars, because they're reminders of your story and what you've overcome. Let that sit for a minute,
I do.
because that might be heavy for some people.
Well, what it brings up to me is there seven or are there more? Is there
I have
like
one
eight?
more point. I have one more point to make.
Okay, do that first.
So the last point I want to make is, or tool I want to give you is essential oils. I cannot stress enough how essential oils have changed my life and that of my family. They have literally revitalized the way that I provide healthcare to my family. And one of the ways that we use essential oils in our home is for emotional health. And like my kids, I've got one with ADD. The other one is like, he's not ADD or ADHD, but he is like full on energy. And let me tell you, lavender essential oil is one of my best friends for my kids
Wow.
because it calms them down. Frankincense essential oil is so good for anxiety and depression because it bypasses what's called the blood brain barrier. So it gets right into your brain tissue. Okay. It acts as a natural anti anxiety medication, but without the side effects. Because that's the thing with medication. And I just want to make it very clear, I am not anti-medication. There are people that need it. When I was dealing with anxiety post C. diff, I got the lowest dose possible anxiety medication. And I didn't take it every day, but I took it like maybe 3 times a week for a while. And it really helped me until I was able to heal my gut, get my serotonin replenished, and then had all these other tools, changed my diet, lifestyle changes, got using essential oils. They help. It's a tool. Okay. So back to essential oils. I'm like kind of going, I get all excited when I start talking about this. doTERRA, which is the brand that I use personally, they've got something called Adaptive. I'm going to put it up to the screen. This is a blend of essential oils. It's wild orange, lavender, copaiba, which works with the endocannabinoid system. It's like a CBD, okay? Spearmint, magnolia, rosemary. Some of these I can't even pronounce. Neroli, sweet gum. There's this blend right here. Like when I moved from Miami to North Carolina, we were in the middle of COVID. The moving truck showed up at my house the day of my child's graduation from, don't laugh, y'all, pre-K 4. But for him, it was a big deal.
So cute.
I was leaving everything. I was extremely sad, but excited. And I had anxiety get triggered. I was slathering this stuff all over my heart. I had it blowing in my car diffuser. You don't take this oil internally. They do have a soft gel that's herbs and botanicals that are meant for anxiety. But this is another fantastic tool that I have found for me personally. It works so, so well. And frankincense, you can take that sublingually underneath your tongue. I had a client that was a high powered attorney, high strung, high anxiety, wanted to come off anti anxiety medication. So we worked on that, weaning her off very slowly because you are messing with brain chemistry. And she started using frankincense, supporting her body in between days of, where she wouldn't take the anti-anxiety medication. And it chilled her out so much. She was like, what is in this stuff? I'm like, well, essential oils are plant-based extracts and they work on a cellular level in your body. So it's telling your cells what to do. And then it's working with your brain chemistry, right? So as you can see, I've got my diffuser blowing right now, and I've got a blend of essential oils in there. And aromatherapy is the fastest way to get essential oils into your system. It's just like when you've had surgery and they put the mask on your face, you are out before you get to, you count from 10 down, you're out at like 8. It does the same thing in your body. It gets up into the limbic system of your brain, will help calm you down and cheer you up. There's so many oils that are on the market right now that they are so fantastic for anxiety, depression, and managing emotions. So if anyone listening to this resonates with you and you want to learn more, Nikki's going to put all my information out there so you guys can just contact me and I can help steer you in the right direction. But those are the things that I recommend for people that are natural that you can do to help get yourself feeling better and support your body and your emotions and your brain when you're
If
dealing
I
with depression and anxiety.
if I want to use the adaptive and the frankincense on a daily basis,
Mm.
um, what so you said you would did you put the adaptive in like a coconut oil and use that as like
Yes, yes. So I depending on your skin, some people have more sensitive skin than others. So what you would do is you would take what's called a carrier oil. So that's fractionated coconut oil, which is just coconut oil that does not harden. It stays in a liquid state. Or avocado oil. I personally like fractionated coconut oil because it doesn't smell. So you're not adding more smell because some people are really smell sensitive and they don't like all, you're blending all these oils and then you're adding another oil on top and it's like too much.
yeah.
So what I will do, I'll put things in a roller. This is a roller ball. This is what it looks like. It's just a 10 milliliter bottle with a metal roller ball on top, right? I'll take the cap off. I'll fill it with fractionated coconut oil. Don't mind my niece did my nails.
I was
Yeah.
noticing your nice little manicure.
Yeah. I mean, check that out. I had a 7-year-old do my nails and I will not take it off because it makes me so happy because I have 2 boys. I don't have a girl. Anyway, so I fill this with fractionated coconut oil and then I'll put like 20 drops of adaptive in there if I want to just like have something easy and mess free. But honestly, like if I need the stuff, I just put some in my hand and I just put it over my heart. You put it over, right underneath your rib cage there. And then I breathe it in or I put it in my diffuser.
Okay.
And if you don't have a car diffuser or like a ghetto way of getting around that so you can get one, take a cotton ball, just put a couple drops in the cotton ball and stick it in your air vent. Or even better, just open the bottle up and hold, like my kids fart all the time. I'm like, I seriously, they get in the car and I'm like, who farted? I
Oh
have
god.
peppermint in my car and I will literally just put the bottle up because my diffuser's in my husband's car right now. I'll stick it up to the air vent. And I'm like, ah! And it works. It works. Everybody gets a benefit. So yes, you can use adaptive. Essential oils are out of your system in 3 hours. You can use them safely on little people and big people. We're just little kids with long legs. Depending on your skin, you may need to dilute. If it's a child, you need to dilute.
And
1
the
drop.
frankincense, same thing. Is that one that
You
you
can
would
use, yes. Okay. So you also too with adaptive, I will also do it on my like skin right here.
yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it works there too. You could do it on the soles of your feet. Um, you can
Is
again,
that
like they do.
for receptivity or something? Is that
Yeah,
just
it's just the skin is like when you take like if you're doing hormone replacement therapy, they'll tell you to do it your forearms where the skin is really soft and thin, gets in really, really quickly, and you've got all these veins right there, it just gets into your system so quickly. So yes, you can use the adaptive every day. You can do it multiple times a day. Um, for some people, if you choose to take doTERRA they've got a soft gel. Again, it's botanicals and herbs that are calming to the brain. I have a lot of clients that use this stuff in conjunction with the soft gels and they don't take anti-anxiety. That's what they use instead. For some people, it calms them down too much. So you may want to just use it towards the end of the day as opposed to the beginning of the day. You have to see how your body responds to it. Other people, they're fine. Like it doesn't affect them like that. And then the frankincense, you can take that again sublingually, 2 drops under the tongue. You can put it over your heart, soles of your feet as well. Chills you out. Again, 3 hours are out of your system. You need to see what works for your body chemistry because again, everybody's body is different. They're working with your cells, telling your cells what to do. So again, my body and your body are very, very different. I may be able to take this in the morning and at night and be fine. You may be like, whoa, sister, this calms me down so much. I got to just take this at nighttime before I go to bed. Is this helpful?
so great? All of this stuff is
I'm
so
so
great.
glad. I'm so glad.
Let it sink in and stuff too. Um, Quite a few things came up while you're speaking. One, I just want to say once again, that's just such a great quote. Joyce Meyer, I'll have to look her up.
Yeah.
Is she somebody, a celebrity, or is she
She's
somebody?
a Christian teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to, I believe it's joycemeyer.org. She's on Instagram. Just look up Joyce Meyer.
So think
She's
about what you're thinking. And that comes from a yogic tradition too. I mean, it comes from, I'm sure, any spiritual tradition,
yeah,
because we all need
yes,
to watch this thing. So yeah, in yoga it's called svadhyaya. It's practice of self-study. So so that's big, is just to watch what we are thinking. And
think
comparison
of
was another huge one that came
yeah.
back to me. And you mentioned briefly social media, and especially with young people right now. Have you watched The Social Dilemma yet?
I have not because I got rid of Netflix.
Okay, well, when
And
you can, when you can,
I know
it's really informative and really upsetting in a lot of ways. But just
I've heard so many. My sister was actually going to give me her Netflix password so I can see it.
I'll give you mine too, no problem. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
anytime. You just let me,
Yeah, yeah, because I do want to see it.
because the younger minds right now, they're forming in a culture that is, the technology and the way that everything is intermixing, and it's
Yeah.
not great. It's not great for
You
younger
and
people.
I didn't have this growing up. We're the same generation. And like I can't even imagine being in junior high and having access to social media.
Yeah.
And how, I mean, you hear it all the time, how many kids have depression, anxiety, and are committing suicide because of social.
Yeah. Yeah, and they talk about that, and they just show the progression there, and how and why. It's fascinating, and it's just really important to, think of the younger people right now, for so many reasons. For
Absolutely.
so many reasons. All of us, that when we're all struggling, but I feel my heart goes out especially to kids whose brains haven't formed yet. You know what I mean? So they're
What is
little.
it, like 27 years old until the brain is fully formed?
Yeah, I heard like 25 yesterday.
Yeah, so it's
And so that, that's kind of science and
yeah,
physiological, which makes me want to mention once again, like, we are chemical beings. So the fact that you're saying, our gut produces, serotonin, all so many neurotransmitters, like, truly, we can try and be grateful, and we can try and do a lot of these practices and stuff, and we have to do these things. And you also, if you don't have, if your gut is not healthy, and that's why you don't have, a high enough number of neurotransmitters, or if it's because of whatever it is, it's causing your body to maybe not have a healthy, amount of serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all of those, like, it's like ingredients in cookie batter. Like, if you don't have chocolate chips, you don't have chocolate chip cookies.
no.
If you have serotonin, you can't feel happiness. Like, truly, you can
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
try and make yourself happy, but you just don't have those. So, like, really getting chemistry figured out, ideally through a really great doctor, a
Yeah.
functional medicine doctor of some sort, and then working with somebody like Carolina, ultimately someone like me when you're ready to be more action oriented with your life. But I'm not a nutritionist. I have a lot of knowledge back there, in that area, but we are scientific bodies. So, like, I'm all for getting, like, just a great assessment of everything. Look at your minerals, look at your vitamins, look at your everything, and then you have something to shoot for. So you're not just like, even today, these are so many great things, but I know some people be like, I don't know where to start. Like, they just get overwhelmed by so many things that they're not doing and they want to start doing. So it's nice. I just want to.
Thing at a time. One thing at a time. And you don't have to do all 8 things I listed. Like pick and choose what works for you, you know? Maybe some people need all of them, all 8. Maybe some people just need 2 and you start feeling better, you know? Just try things out.
Try things out, and honestly, get a coach. Get somebody that you can bounce, what you're doing off of regularly. Get reflection. Ideally, get, expert guidance and
Get a
supervision.
good therapist. Get a good
And,
therapist if you need it.
yeah, and a therapist. Like, these are important things right now. These are not luxuries.
Yeah.
This is like, treat your body,
The
as
Ferrari.
a Ferrari, as a Ferrari.
Ferrari girl.
And you want things that, you want this thing to last your whole lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, you've got a Ferrari here. Like, let's make it, like, let's keep it,
Make it purr, girl. Make it purr.
all of it. So yeah, I just wanted to point out those things because they stand out to me. I know that they're, um, like I said, I have a lot of experience in this. So, and I love oils, and the effect of oils is really fast. I find, sunshine is fast, walking is fast as far as like the effects to your mental state. Those are really fast. Water, like if you're dehydrated, suddenly you drink a lot of water, that's fast. But well, oils, the effect is really quick. So it's like
20
these
seconds.
things, it's
20
nice just to get
seconds.
a little, a little like, oh,
Yeah.
so try them out and get some guidance, reach out to Carolina and have her, guide you into like, this oil protocol that we just talked about, or one that might resonate more for you, or whatever it is. But I know that they're a big part of my world. I have numerous friends in the kind of in the oil sort of worlds, and I've just gathered a lot of great stuff over the
And
years.
I will tell you, this is essential oils are not just for hippies
Mm-mm.
or crunchy women. They are for everyone. CEOs, doesn't matter. Like they are for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So her link, Carolina's link is going to be in my bio, and it'll also be under, um, just everywhere. It'll be everywhere. You'll see her website and stuff. And she's doing a lot of great things. And she's a great public speaker and a teacher and educator, as you can see. If you would like her to speak, or be part of anything that your company or your organization or whatever is putting on, highly recommend that. We all need people like Carolina right now, just to like get us, inspired and know that we can feel good. So I'm a huge proponent of that. And yeah, next week I'm talking more about anxiety and depression, but in the realm of I'm going to be talking to the addiction nutritionist. So she's going to be
Oh, that's gonna be good.
talking a lot specifically about nutrition for coming off of its pause, post acute withdrawal syndrome. So that's when you
Oh,
are letting go of whatever addictive substance you've been on. So, and the chemistry that goes along with that. So you would love
oh,
that.
oh! I can't wait to hear that one.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And yeah, I've got, last week's interview, I've got a lot of essential oil related talks from this past month, and I've got two more coming up. So obviously I'm a fan and I think the stuff works. So I would love for you guys just to be educated and have the resources to get the highest quality stuff and to know how to use it, and to, and also, oh, and holidays. I mean, talk about like keeping things simple this year. Give somebody a lavender spray and like an eye pillow, or like a little bottle of essential, orange is super, super cheap. Orange is like $10,
Yeah,
and it's a pick me up. Things
yeah.
like that could probably be really good ideas for just holiday cheer.
Stocking stuffers. I will be making again this year stocking stuffer roller balls for people. I'll be announcing that on my Instagram and Facebook pages. So I'll be doing things like Silent Night, which is a nice calming roller bottle
Oh, how
with
fun. I
sleep.
want all of these. That sounds great. I might
Yep.
have to copy you and do some of those. Where
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
get the roller balls? Where do I tell people to get roller balls?
I buy them on Amazon.
Okay.
I get big packs of them. I buy them in bulk because I make so many and sell so many and like use so many in my own house that like it's like, and then you can reuse them. I mean, I obviously like don't like if I've got a roller ball for, boosting the immune system, I don't then go use it for sleep. Like I use it for the same thing over and over again, but they're totally reusable. You can clean them with rubbing alcohol, and they last, they're so handy. I mean, like I don't recommend people just like don't just use it from the bottle. Use a roller bottle because or roller ball because you're gonna extend the life of your body. Because some like frankincense is expensive,
So expensive.
and yeah, I mean a really high quality one is expensive. So you do not want to be just like you don't need to. You use like 2 drops and you're golden. But when you get it into the roller ball, that roller ball is going to last you a while, depending on how often you're using it. And then you're going to extend the life of this.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get some of those.
And they're not expensive. They're not expensive at all. And doTERRA sells them also too. If you're buying from them, they're like $1 each. You get
Okay.
a pack of 6 for like $5, less than $1 each. Yeah.
Um, Real quick, can you just go through your 8?
Yes,
And if you
absolutely.
want to pick,
Absolutely. Okay.
one favorite thing from each one, great. Otherwise, just the list.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Natural ways to manage depression and anxiety.
natural ways to manage. Okay, so Number 1, get moving.
Move. Okay.
Number 2, clean up your diet and
Every day.
reduce sugar.
Reduce sugar.
Number 3, you're going to be optimizing your gut health. Number 4, you're going to be increasing your consumption of essential fats. Yeah, I didn't botch it this time. You're number 5, you're going to get sunshine. Number 6, you want to get your stress in check. Number 7 is think about what you're thinking about, watch your mind, what you're taking in. And number 8 is using essential oils. And then the food,
Yeah.
to soothe your nervous system, it's bananas, Maridol papayas, pumpkin seeds, avocado, and leafy greens.
Perfect. I do all those things other than the papaya, but now I'll look into that one because that sounds pretty interesting.
You can make a good shake out of them too.
Yeah. I mean, those
Put them
have
in salad. You can put them with your leafy greens.
okay. Now, is this just regular? But I mean, you said some
Maridol papaya.
is it
I
different than
think
the papayas?
that's the one that's become the most recommended. However, I think you're safe with a papaya. Just get what you can get and see how it works for you.
Got it. Okay. I think that we might just be right at the amount of time that I can make this long enough to go on Instagram. So I'm going to end right here, everybody. And yeah, Carolina, reach out to her website, reach out to me for more information about my recovering life transition coaching and my yoga and everything that I have to offer from Denver. You know, I Zoom everything these days too. So I've got a lot of great classes and other things like that. So, so thank you, Carolina.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you on my platform as well.
I am too. I can't wait. And
It'll
I'm
be so
going to have
fun.
all my things more dialed in next week. So anyway, Carolina, stay on and we'll just say goodbye to everybody else. And
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us.
see you next time. Thank you so much.